Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Hope and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite books of 2021. So these were not all necessarily published in 2021, that's when I read them. So first I want to talk about, this was one of my favorites. This was in my top 5 at least. The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I think that's how you say his name. This is a thriller. This is about this woman who is investigating this murder and she believes that the professor is the murderer. And it's kind of got to do with Greek mythology. It's very twisty and windy and weird. The Maidens, where that comes into play, is the Maidens are the professor's special group of girls, which is so weird. They're a study group. And so this journalist is really trying to pin the murder on him. And so there's so many plot twists. I was shocked at the ending of this. It was wild. I definitely recommend this. I gave this 5 stars on Goodreads, and I've recommended this to a lot of library patrons, so definitely recommend that one. Next, this is Elizabeth and Her German Garden. This was very, if you're into cottagecore and fairycore and stuff like that, this one is basically, it's just about Elizabeth and she talks about her garden. It's nonfiction. She talks about her garden through the seasons. And she talks about things like summer happiness and spring happiness and winter happiness and fall, and how she can find happiness and joy and pleasure throughout the seasons in her garden. Even though in the winter nothing's growing, she still finds a way to make it positive. It was a really cute, really cozy read. I definitely recommend that one. Next, I have Recipe for a Perfect Wife by Karma Brown. I'm really into the 1950s right now, so I was looking for books set in the 1950s. And so this has a dual point of view. I believe her name's Alice. Yeah, Alice is current, 2018. And then Nellie was the housewife who lived in this house before her in 1955, I believe. And Alice and her husband moved to this house where Alice finds Nellie's old 1950s cookbook. And she starts cooking her way through it, kind of like a Julie and Julia type of thing. But it is a mystery. And so she's trying to figure out more about Nellie and her life and what happened. I would recommend this to anyone. It's definitely different than something I would normally read because it's not necessarily a thriller, but it's also not a cozy mystery. I would just say this is a normal, run-of-the-mill mystery. But I really enjoyed it. I actually might read it again. And it's got actual recipes, like 1950s recipes in it, which is pretty cool. What else do I have? Oh, I did bring this one out. Kristen Hanna, The Four Winds. This one was really popular last year. We did have some older patrons who actually read this and said that it was just The Grapes of Wrath. But I haven't read The Grapes of Wrath, so I really enjoyed this one. It's set during the Dust Bowl, if you don't know anything about it. And I don't know if you can see this. It's got like this glitter on the inside. I guess it's supposed to be dust. It's a beautiful book. And I gave this one 5 stars on Goodreads. I don't want to spoil too much. It's just set during the Dust Bowl and everything that they had to deal with during that time. It was great, honestly. Not normally something I would read. I'm not big on historical fiction necessarily, but it was really good. And then the last one I want to talk about is The Hunting Wives by May Cobb. This was a thriller, a little different. I recommended this to some patrons, and I did have at least one say that it was too much for her. So this is definitely, if you like something a little more clean or simple, probably not this one, but this is about, I think her name's Sophie O'Neill. She moves to this place and she meets Margot Banks, who basically reminds me of a Gossip Girl character, if you've seen Gossip Girl. you don't necessarily like Margot, but you want her to like you. And so she gets in with Margot. There's a really strange dynamic and relationship with them, and the story starts because there's a murder. And so it's all about who murdered this girl and who are the hunting wives, what are they actually hunting and what are they actually doing. I was pleasantly surprised by the turn that this one took. I think I give this one 4 stars on Goodreads. It was really good, but it wasn't like the best book ever, so I gave it 4 stars. And those are my favorite books of 2021. Yeah, that's all of them. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Thanks guys, I'll see you next time. Bye!